Stick around. Okay, pretty excited for our guest speaker today. The highlight of today's webinar. A warm welcome to Erin Bowling, VP of Accounting Operations at Level 10 CFO. I'm going to stop my screen share there. We've got Erin live on the call joining us today from the US. And Erin, great to have you on. I think we first met at QuickBooks Connect in Las Vegas last year, December. So great to meet you there. And it's been great working with you since. Just maybe to give everyone a little bit of background around yourself, your firm, where you operate, and sort of the clients you serve.
Sure, Van. Thanks for having me. I'm super glad to be here. I am the VP of Accounting Operations at Level 10 CFO, and so we provide outsourced fractional CFO and accounting services. Really more focused on the advisory-led services and the CFO role, and then with that obviously comes controller and accounting services from there. We are based out of Denver, Colorado, here in the U.S., but 100% of our team is remote, so we're all over the U.S. and actually all over the globe. We have team members all over the globe. So we really focus on, like I said, the advisory-led services, not just getting the accounting and financials done, but really helping the CEO of our clients and the management team grow and move their business forward.
Awesome. I think that's sort of where you originally got the spark to look into Syft in a little bit more detail. You met us on the ground at the event, and I think you were looking for more enhanced class reporting for QuickBooks Online, something to really give management accounts with lots of divisions a little bit more insight and the ability to report on all of those different business units within the business. I think taking steps from there, and you maybe more recently, or the real use case for Syft and Level 10 was for Atari, where you needed to complete the global audit from Deloitte to sort of full IFRS for a listed company. And Syft was able to assist with that multi-currency consolidation across the US, Africa, and Europe. Tell us a little bit more around the sort of the problem you're looking to solve with Syft and how that evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I met you guys in Vegas last year, that the main focus and what I was looking for is something that could do the class reporting across multiple entities. So we could do real true line of business reporting across different entities. And Syft was able to accomplish that, but also what came with our implementation of Syft was with our client Atari and their global consolidation, as you said. They have about 15 US entities, about the same number in France and Europe and Africa and several other regions. And prior to Level 10 coming on and Syft coming on, the consolidation process with all of those entities and levels was extremely manual, frankly done in Excel, using Excel documents that started at the entity level, rolled up into the regional level, did the FX conversions at that level, then rolled up into the IFRS level and all the IFRS entries that are required to take specifically the US entities from GAAP to IFRS, and then the final consolidation. And so it was an extremely manual process that, as everybody knows, last minute changes or not so last minute changes had to be made at the lowest level and then manually rolled up into, to make the changes at the top level. And so super time consuming, super manual, and, prone to errors that had to be found, etc. So Syft was able, with the consolidation tool, to take this very time-consuming process. We were able to connect the accounting software so that last-minute changes then could be rolled up with pretty much a push of a button and an update.
Awesome. It's such a great use case. I love it as a story, and I think hoping we can continue to do more like similar work in that space. I think getting to multi-currency consolidations, is sort of like the pinnacle of, let's say, difficulty and complexity. And I think eliminating some of the manual side of it is important. I think it will, if things are a little bit more automated and numbers can be relied on, and it's not only manual entry in Excel, it does give us a bit more assurance in the quality of that that end product. I know as accountants, Excel is still a prominent friend of us. So I think we'll always rely on that at some points, and pretty much why we also built the connector from Syft's perspective. So I think relying on the ability to push data in and out of Syft via the Excel and Google Sheets connector was key. I think it's was critical in your workflows and processes. So I'm glad that could assist. The connector in general, was it super helpful, Erin? Is it something you'll continue to use going forward?
Oh, absolutely. Specifically with this client, it was a game changer because we have a 90-page, approximately 90-page reporting document, annual reporting document, and within that is obviously a bunch of notes and the financials and tables within the notes, and all of that prior to Syft was done manually as well. And so, all the workbooks that I spoke about earlier, as they were updated and the numbers changed, then the tables within this document had to go and be manually changed. And we all know how when you're working on a deadline, there's inevitably last minute changes. And so, it's not only making sure the balance sheet and the profit and loss changes are made, but all the notes as well. So what we were able to do with the connector is use the connector, pull in the trial balances, the consolidated trial balances, and any entity level trial balances, and link those to the tables within Excel that then were linked to the final reporting document. So as these last minute changes came through, all of the tables thus linked, and the reporting document linked as well. And so it made it where, we were able to rely that once changes came through, everything else changed in sync with that. And, using connector within Excel or Google Sheets, we were also able to create check figures per se, and use Jolie helped us use some conditional formatting and those type things to very much highlight if a number was out of balance, if it didn't agree with one section of the notes, those sort of things. So it was really easy to use the connector to make sure the numbers were pretty much constantly updated, but also then to visually be able to quickly check and make sure everything else aligned as well.
Love it. I think it's so cool that full flow from again, like two different accounting softwares consolidated in Syft, and then via the connector out of Syft into Excel, then rebuilt into sort of a consolidated group report. So awesome use case, and glad we could assist. I know Jody Lee was very hands-on from our team, head of education and implementation. So I know she was crucial in getting this to fruition, but also that constant interaction with you and your team, Erin's really helped us improve Syft as well. We've already started to add some of the improvements, like a journal column for the eliminations in the consolidated level. Anything on customer support that you can maybe add to that, and ways that Jody Lee perhaps assisted?
I could speak all day long about that. The Syft customer support team during this process was critical to our success in this. We implemented Syft pretty late in the game, just because we didn't find Syft until, last December at QuickBooks Connect. And, as we all know, it doesn't matter how great the software is, any implementation is going to be challenging. And, just from learning the software, working out the bugs with a particular client, and getting everything built and set up. And right out of the gate, Van, you and Jodie and the whole team really jumped in to help us, because this was, it's a pretty big consolidation, and, pretty intensive with doing the eliminations and the IFRS entries and that sort of thing. And so, right out of the gate, everybody jumped in, and, it was all hands on deck to make sure we met this deadline. There was a point in time during this process that my team and I were meeting with Jodie daily. We had morning touch points. She was walking us through certain things that we had come across. The time difference, was not an issue. It was fabulous. Just the whole process from start to finish with Jodie and her team was just amazing. And, without a doubt, we would not have met this deadline without the Syft customer support team. And I certainly would have a lot more gray hair than I do now.
Well, good to see it's not the case on the gray hair front. And yeah, awesome to you. I think Jodie Lee was the real hero from our side. I think I joined one or two calls, Alex, and then Jodie Lee sort of took the baton from then as the specialist and carried it from our side. But it's been great working with you, Erin, and great to have you on. We did write up. Alex actually did a fantastic case study with you recently. I'm going to post that in the chat if anyone is interested in learning a bit more about the story and sort of how we implemented Syft for yourself, Atari, and that audit. So it is there in the chat if you are interested. It's an awesome case study. Take a look through that. And yeah, been great working with you, Erin. Thanks for joining the call today and great working with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Likewise.
Awesome.
Thanks, Erin.